Hey, you join here? Okay.
Live.
Yeah, it's live already. Wait. All right. What's up, everyone? So today is a Monday here in Asia, 10:30 exactly. So we are going to be covering the general markets, followed by the cryptocurrency markets, then technical analysis by Charles. And we will want to make sure that everyone is not going to panic, especially this current pullback. I think a pullback to 9,000 is extremely okay. Having said that, the market has recovered quite a bit since 2 weeks ago. Right now, whatever pullback that we are experiencing, more or less would be due to only the minor setback from maybe SEC side, but I think nothing to be worried about. Okay, so just a quick note for new Premier members. We will be reaching out to you guys via email. So check out, make sure you look out for your email. And then we will be arranging a special 1 hour orientation for you guys so that you all will get up to speed with what's going on in the group. So it will be a very quick 1 hour session on half an hour on fundamental analysis, half an hour on fundamental analysis, half an hour on technical analysis, and then after an orientation of the Discord group. So that way, whatever information that you would require as you go about your day can be easily looked for and digested in a very short span of time. All right, guys. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Andy.
Yeah, 22 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys. So let's just cover the overall markets first in terms of what's happening around the world. So today it's a UK holiday. Okay, anyway, so happy holidays. Now, what we're anticipating mainly today in the evening or for Singapore time will be the SEC kind of verdict on Ethereum. So I'm still also kind of unable to find the news and the timing, but once I'm able to do so, I'll dish it out. But generally, SEC normally hosts meeting in the morning US timing. So it's either between 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. That's the usual time. This is just how the Fed does it. And so I'm just basing on that time. That will be 8 to 10 p.m. tonight for Singaporeans, and then 8 to 10 a.m. On 7th May. Okay, that's how they usually do it. So this is just based on what I know about the Feds. Okay. Or it could be 8:30 as well. So anyway, this coming week we have certain news coming up. Retail sales. Generally, if you realize the markets are always the same. Okay. So I won't really go into detail. All I want to show you is actually what to pay attention to this week. And US inflation data is coming out. So basically, this one actually tells you how the economy in US is doing. And a lot of Forex traders always pay attention to how the US are doing. There's a Fed speakers. So other than following data, all right, the other thing you can really follow is the Fed speakers. Listening to how they speak and listening to what they talk about can actually affect the market quite a fair bit. Okay, so especially if your title is like the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, you can potentially affect the market. Okay, so the one thing that he can say could affect US dollars index alone. So it's a lot of power on a single person. So sometimes Me and my friend, we kind of speculate whether they do some shorting before they announce certain news. Okay, I was just saying. Anyway, so the Fed kept interest rates unchanged last week. It's actually highly expected that they are not going to change. It will take some time for them to implement the next change in terms of interest rates to increase it. Okay, so the earnings season starts to wind down. So about 40 S&P 500 companies are due to report financial results this week. So this is the last big wave for the first quarter earnings season. All right. So Disney, as we know, Disney, Marriott, okay, all the big companies are actually announcing their earnings this week. So we will see how this will affect the economy, but I shouldn't think it will affect a lot, right? Bank of England policy announcement and China trade figures. Now, if you trade Australian market, if you trade China market, this is what you want to know. Okay. Now crude oil. Let's just go simple. There's this one particular paragraph that I just want to highlight for you. Is this one. So crude oil have well been supported in the recent weeks as traders increase their bets that US will pull out of the Iran nuclear deal, raising the potential for tighter crude oil stockpiles. All right. So in general, oil prices will start to climb up because of the Iran issue. And so like I've been saying about oil, it's whenever you have war, whenever you have unrest, whenever you have issues, oil prices tends to go up. Okay, unless another renewable resource replaces oil. If not, it will just keep going up for now. Okay, so I did study energy before when I was in uni. So when we talk about green energy, you talk about sustainable energy. That's the next thing. By 2030, it will most likely be kind of implemented, taking over oil's place to a certain extent. Okay, so we will see in the next 12 years what will happen. So the good news is dollar index at a near 4-month high after US job data. So you realize, some of you should have realized, like example in Singapore, when we took profit of BTC and F into Sing dollars, actually it went up because US dollar's strength actually went up. So it was kind of advantageous for us, right? But so for those in the US, doesn't really have much impact. So the unemployment rate dropped to a near 17.5-year low of 3.9%. But as all of you know, unemployment rate is not very indicative of how a country is functioning because there are always unreported unemployment. So it's very hard to track unemployment rates. Okay, and okay, that's basically all. Like that, there's nothing much. It's just this is the main thing here. All right. So we have oil prices going up. We have dollar index going up as well. Okay, let's talk about outlook. Okay, this is not. Okay, so oil near 2014 high on Iran tension and Venezuela crisis. Okay, like I say again, this is very indicative of what the world is happening. So when you look at oil prices, somehow you know what's happening around the world. Okay, it's just kind of indicative. So the last news I have here today, just for fun, when I saw this, it's called Warren Buffett proves why investing in stocks beats gold. Okay, so he made a news about that. He said, if let's say for every dollar that you investing the same 10,000 that will yield 51 million by investing in American business on S&P, with netted investor 400,000 in value with gold. So he was just kind of making a comparison between investing in stocks and then also investing in gold. So he actually made a point that your $10,000 would be worth 51 million today if you have invested in the indexes. Yeah. So that's the interesting part, okay, about this whole idea here about why stocks are better. But as of now, we do see certain let's see if I can go to my watch list. Okay, but we do see certain movements in the market overall here. And everything is very, very bullish. So and even the VIX is dropping. So to me, I'm just getting cash out into my banks for now, and then really just wait for the indexes to start to dip or a huge major recession to hit, and then that's the time when you go and buy in that sense for indexes. Okay. So there's a lot of ads here, crypto kitties. Okay, anyway, so that is all from me today. Not much news, but basically just take note that oil prices will be starting to pick up. US dollar is starting to pick up as well. And we have this news up and coming. We have earnings season this week, and also the Fed speakers may affect certain policies, but I don't think it will. And also US inflation data. All right. So for those who don't trade forex, this don't really affect you a lot, but it's just really, really good to know what's happening around the world. Yeah, that's all.
All right, guys. So thank you so much, Andy. All right. So. All right, guys. So very quickly now, we want to just cover the general cryptocurrency markets and the outlook for this week. All right. So we have actually rebounded very nicely, but we have some resistance at the 475 billion market cap. And as we all know, we have been we pulled back, and not only that, we actually dropped quite significantly in the last 24 hours from 455B, and we dropped to 437. Right now, as we all know, the cryptocurrency markets are still very, very small in relative to the general capital markets, such as the stock markets, the bond markets, and of course, forex markets. Okay, and what we want to be able to do is to capitalize on what makes this whole space tick. So right now, if we look at the charts, right, I can safely say that we are in a very good position to accumulate more BTC. I'm looking at a few levels later. I think from a technical standpoint, perhaps TA wise, Andy or Charles will be providing the setups. Right now, if we're lucky, we may be able to pick up more around the 9,200 level, or even at 9,000 flat. Okay, this is where the levels I'm most likely planning to accumulate more with fiat specifically. Okay, at the same time also, I do not anticipate much to happen from SEC or CFTC on deeming Ethereum as a security. Okay, this is something that there's too many large corporations that are vested in Ethereum at the moment. It makes no sense to kind of suddenly deem it as a security, and then after that you suddenly have to shut it down, or bring the whole developer team on trial and whatnot. It just doesn't make sense. I think it's all a horse and pony show, just so that probably it can give opportunity to see how the market reacts. In this case, the market did react. We actually, personally, I hedged out a bit of US dollars because I didn't know whether or not it would break. It didn't break. It didn't break. The reason why I didn't give such a call, because I don't feel that it's a big deal. In a way that if let's say, for example, everyone was anticipating, the consensus was an anticipation of breaking to 10K. Okay, and I felt that if everyone's consensus is there, I don't want to put out a call and then after that it goes contrarian. Apparently, my call was quite accurate. I did cash out a little bit, just to be honest. I did cash out a little bit in order to basically hedge. So now I have a certain amount of cash position so that I can probably rebuy my BTC. I didn't anticipate BTC to have any reaction, honestly, because it makes no sense that BTC would react, right? BTC would never fall under the jurisdiction of SEC or whatever, because there wasn't, when the first Genesis block was created, there was never a crowd sale. So why I always emphasize strongly on accumulation of BTC, it will never be affected by any government. Never. Will it be manipulated by institutions, traders, and whatever and whatnot? Sure. But if you talk about having the whole project shut down, it can never be shut down. On another light, for example, Ethereum. Ethereum is already it is an open source platform. Okay, so even if the whole bloody Ethereum team was supposed to be called back for trial or whatever, right? The platform will always still be there as long as there's a healthy community, developers building on it. Okay, so just for those who are a little bit weary or new to this whole SEC, CFTC, what does it mean? Don't panic. Okay, it's just, yes, from a price point, if you were someone who bought maybe at 700 or maybe even 800, you may be a little bit panicky now because of the sudden dip, but I think it doesn't matter. Okay, another note, LTC seems to be relatively resilient to this whole fiasco. Right now, I think Charles already gave the call to buy Litecoin, I think maybe a few days back, probably last week. And that has already probably played out very, very well. And in terms of Quantum has been really resilient, guys. Okay, honestly, Quantum has just been holding above the 22,500 Satoshi line. If we look at the 1 hour, but if we look at the 1 day, which I prefer always looking at 1 day, it's clearly way above 200K Satoshi. In fact, it's above the 220,000 Satoshi mark, which is where I'm looking at. I'm actually queuing around that level to acquire more. Now let me explain a little bit more about Quantum. all right, and why it makes sense. Okay, there's two schools of thought. There are the Neo fans, and then there are the quantum fans. The Neo fans, I would say that it's a more centralized blockchain. Does it mean that it's not going to be successful? No. In fact, it can be very successful because all the while, I think Neo's value proposition was to move towards enterprise solutions. Now, in terms of central and private blockchains, right? Central blockchains will always have a faster TPS. So whenever you see a blockchain claim that it has a very fast, a blockchain network, any kind of new network, doesn't mean Neo or Quantum or whatever, claim that they have a very fast TPS, it just basically means that it has very little nodes. There's no freaking way that they can be very decentralized or have multiple or many nodes and still be able to perform that kind of level of scalability. It is not possible, okay? If you look at Quantum, currently now, being that it's already on POS, being that it already has 7,348 nodes, it doesn't mean that there are 7,348 people. It could be a company having 1,000 nodes. But the reason for that is to create that whole decentralization and making sure that eventually your data is secure, because the most secure data is a data that is being stored on a network that is extremely peer-to-peer and extremely decentralized and has as many nodes as possible. So Quantum has this model. Now, the problem with Quantum is that its fees are based on quantum. There's no gas. There's no quantum gas. Okay, there is the GUI, but it's not the same. But I think, having said that, the reason why Quantum's price has not really flown astronomically is for the fact that it wants to keep the price that way. So, long story short, if you're someone who is an investor, okay, I already mentioned that yesterday, you want to probably keep your Quantum as, you can consider Quantum as a store of value even, okay, especially when times are a little bit more uncertain. Quantum does fit that bill. It has proven itself. It looks like that for a very long time. At the same time, also in terms of development, what's been happening? I think we all are in anticipation of the x86. Now, what does that even mean? Okay, so I was doing a little bit of research, and x86 is just basically more multiple languages, programming, computing languages for developers to further develop on the quantum network, right? And also, Bodhi is the very first dApp that is downloadable for you to use already, according to Quantum's latest Medium blog. I have not personally downloaded it yet to try, but it is the first prediction market that is successfully on a dApp. Okay, because I think Augur was supposed to be doing this, but Augur was, I don't know what happened to Augur, honestly speaking. Augur, is it still in beta? Maybe it still is, because Augur is a web-based prediction market for now. It was actually one of the first that we stumbled upon last year. But Bodhi seems to have progressed much faster with the quantum network, and I think that is already going to be stating a lot. Because the moment that you have one successful dApp out there in the market, people get to start to try and use, right? When they have to try to start and use, meaning that they have to probably purchase Quantum or Bodhi to participate. This starts to form a proper ecosystem, right? And then Quantum did mention that they are going to create a smart contract protocol marketplace. Now, this smart contract protocol marketplace will allow developers to start monetizing their smart contract platforms. Let's just put it this way: whatever that is on GitHub is what the developer or the developer team would feel convenient to reveal. They want to share a certain part of that source code so that people can have at least a base layer to start working on. Are they going to put everything there? No. This is something that is very important. So right now, if there's going to be a smart contract protocol marketplace, especially created on Quantum. By the way, this is not the first time I've heard a smart contract protocol marketplace. I think there are other, there was this District 0x wanted to kind of do the same thing, but I'm not sure, and I've not heard of anything with regards to District 0x in a very, very long time with regards to the smart contract marketplace, because at the end of the day, if you are able to churn out more more dApps or decentralized apps on your network, then we can come and talk about you having an efficient product, more products for that marketplace. Right now, only Quantum seems to be able to do that, and they are quite smart. They are obviously suppressing the price. As you can see, the maximum that it seems to be moving up to, the volume is not fantastic. So as a trader, don't bother about looking at Quantum. As an investor, it is a great instrument. You're going to get 4% per annum staking it based on the current calculation. Now, I think yesterday Charles also shared that Casper kind of, is Casper officially out? Not officially out. Okay. So Casper after reading long story short, also Casper, after reading what Vitalik had to say, very complex. A lot of penalties from what I understand, because I think being that he has already built this very expensive billions of dollar network, which is the Ethereum network, he cannot afford to have people go in and go out, go in and go out. So there's lack of flexibility for that 5%. Which is still great, okay? If you're someone who thinks long term, if you have 1,500 Ethereum and you think about it, wow, 5% is actually pretty good. But there seems to be quite a number of layers. Like, for example, you going offline for an X amount of time, that will cause and incur a penalty. You probably creating some kind of bad actor related, you're not validating the network properly or whatever. That also has another penalty. So it creates a lot of fear, because not every one of us understands it. Sometimes we just want to support the network. So Vitalik isn't making it as simple. I think when you talk about investing, people who are investors are actually more or less, not very bright. Like myself, I'm not very bright. I just want to invest in stuff. I want to make money. So for me, I would want to have something simple. So to me, I don't mind foregoing that 1% extra. Looking at the yield, based on the yield, let's say, for example, if you were to stake 5,000 Quantum, at this point, you're getting 4%. That's still better than you putting that one. Okay, let's assume it's 100K in the bank. You're gonna get like less than 1% for a fixed deposit, okay, with the bank. But on the Quantum network, for a 4% yield, that's $4,000. Okay, so you think about it from that scale, right? It's actually a very, very good yield return. But in terms of what is the volatility, I would expect some kind of movement leading up towards consensus, because consensus is 7 days away. Okay. And whether is it going to happen before or whether is it going to happen after, I'm pretty excited. So what will I do then? It depends on how parabolic, right? If let's say we're talking about 3x, 4x, I'm definitely going to take profit on a good portion of it. And, I'll monitor the situation, because anything that goes parabolic, the rule here at CG is to sell. Okay, it doesn't matter how fantastic a coin is or how strong the fundamentals is. The moment that a coin goes parabolic, please sell. Okay, it is just the right thing to do. Go back to BTC. Don't bother about cash. Okay, we are not in that period where we want to hide in cash. Hiding in cash is really gonna have to be kept, depending on your risk profile, obviously, anywhere from 10, no more than 20%. Even if you're very conservative, okay, I would have assumed that a conservative individual would have already allocated a certain portion that they're willing to put aside in this cryptocurrency market that will not affect their day-to-day living expenses and so on and so forth. So don't be worried that you're going to have these occasional pullbacks, because if we had such a decent recovery from the low, I would anticipate that we will recover back to the 560 billion market cap, which is about 100 billion more. Sorry, about 130 billion more from where we are now. We should be able to hit it in the next quarter, at least the next 3 months. Okay, this is where I kind of anticipate it, because today, if we can have 30B wiped out, I don't see why we can't have another additional 130B in the next 3 months. I don't feel that that's an issue. The only reason, like I said, would hold us back from a full-blown market recovery is that perhaps there's going to be heavy implementations from the G20 meetings or the G7 countries that I think is happening in July again. So we have a good 2 months to work around. Another thing that could scare us would be today's announcement that SEC deems Ethereum a security. That is the worst case scenario. Honestly speaking, that is the worst case scenario. And if SEC does state that, that means every single damn ICO that was probably in the jurisdiction of SEC will fall prey. We do not know what is the outcome, obviously, but we can only anticipate. And of course, let's make sure that we have enough cash reserves to take advantage of the market when it happens. That being said, I think we are good to go. So from a technical standpoint, I'll hand it over to Charles.
Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well. Is my mic okay? Yeah. Okay, so basically, okay, wrong chart. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll go into lower time frames because I think the state of the market, for those that don't know, basically we are already above the cloud. So in terms of trading wise, we face 10K as resistance, which is very hard. Like we tried one time and we straight away got knocked back down quite strongly, aggressively. So definitely on the first try, I wouldn't expect it to break because 10K is a very strong psychological barrier. At the same time, also, this resistance cluster has been quite annoying the whole time. Yeah, but it all honestly depends on the catalyst, which I'm banking on the Ethereum announcement on 7. That's why the market is also in a bit of a panic because people maybe like ETH went up a lot. Like I think those that traded Ether, it went up way extended, like than what a normal ETH should go. Oh yeah, let me hold on. Yeah, so basically what happened is that though we are playing the cup and handle still, target is still 1K, but it's just a healthy correction and down on the Kijun bounce now. So technically from now, I hope that if the trend wants to continue, we will see some bounce right here, right now, like after this candle close. Because usually what happens on Monday and Tuesday, there's always a sell-off. You can check in the past few days, the Monday and Tuesday, there always will be a sell-off because what usually happens is that the futures pricing and opens on Monday, close on Sunday, and then it opens on Monday. So it has to compensate and there'll always be a sell down. And I don't know why it's always doing Asian timing at 8 o'clock in the morning, then they'll start selling off. And then after it will start bouncing here and there. Yeah, but I think for now, what you guys got to do is to not get over leveraged because at the same time, the point of the market now is that this news is like a 50-50 kind of thing. So you don't really know what's really going to happen. I mean, some analysts could say this, some analysts could say that. At the end of the day, we don't know until it really happens. So what you can do is be prepared for it. So how I recommend to be prepared for it, like what Ryan mentioned, was to hedge your downside position, which you did. So if you are uncomfortable with this scenario, as in like if the whole situation and you do not want to take any more risks, you can consider hedging into USD and then from there wait it out. You might miss, let's say, okay, bullish scenario, the thing runs up and then you miss the initial run up. There will always be a retracement after the news. So don't FOMO or anything like that. And in event that it really crashes and burn, hey, you thank yourself for like putting some USD aside to save your butt. Yeah, so it all depends on how much you want to hedge. And I leave it up to you, your number, because it's your account. If you don't want to hedge at all, it's totally fine. Yeah. So at the same time, also, I'm also a bit skeptical on giving any out calls now, as in, because though the prices now looks very attractive from a BTC standpoint, because the whole market is retracing, you can consider an aggressive entries around there. I'll give out some, but just mindful that for each trade entry, it has to be take lesser risk, because only until Tuesday clears up, until the Monday night things clear up, then I am more confident to give like a proper signal. It's just like a roadblock. And it's the same thing as you can see, like all charts, they hit a roadblock. And so happens the roadblock is also at a key resistance level. So yeah, so we are just finding some strength, like consolidating. Like you can see here also was a much steeper correction as compared to here. So like you see over here is 12%, whereas here is only like 8%. So to begin with, there's nothing to be really be panic about. It's more about having a plan and then from there sticking to your plan and then play it out. Because maybe you can wait for like maybe another 3-4% drop and then probably enter aggressive entry, like something like that. Like you're playing the bounce, like you're buying the dip. Yeah, and so pretty much nothing else much, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. TP levels. Yeah. Okay. I'm mentioning that a lot of people are asking over the weekend about TP levels, like how to take TP. I think everyone has their own style. I just share my own style, and then from there you can. Okay. So the nano trade, I think. Okay. Wrong chart. sorry, a bit disorganized. Yeah, okay, so like this nano trade, basically we were entering around like here, I think around here. And then, so how do you find out the TP levels? So there is one key way and a very simple way. And I think this is what most of you guys should use, and it's very simple. Basically, you go to the daily or 4-hour time frame or just scroll up. So you just look at where areas bounce. It's like, here's a place that bounced. Here's a place that, here's a place that bounced. Here's a place that bounced. So you try to match a few points. Like this point, you can see that it bounced 1 time, 2 time, and then it bounced the other way also. Same thing as here, it's bounced 1 time, 2 time, and it bounced the other way as well. So you can see when we try to break this level, there was resistance straight away. Yeah, so these are levels that has, okay, I should off the indicators so it'll be clearer. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that each resistance will always act as a resistance level. Like you see, it's like clockwork. Like it just hit, it try to break above, cannot break, and then it will just retrace down. So what happens is that when you reach a certain area like this, or a certain area like, I can't spot all the support and resistance level. You guys got to do the homework as well for yourself. So when it hits this level, and then you can say, okay, it's time to consider taking profit. And the whole idea when you're doing in the trade is along the way up, you're always taking profit. You do not get greedy or blindsided because like your past trades, you get like 50% and you expect the same outcome. Like it doesn't always work that way, because if not, everyone will be rich. Yeah, so the whole idea is to manage your expectations, that each trade is very hard. I know from a mindset and like emotional perspective, it's very hard to like, you want the 50% gains all the time, and then like suddenly you like have to settle like 5-10%. But actually 5-10% is a lot already. So you shouldn't get greedy. It's like that's the greed that will kill you. It's not actually your trading setup or anything that is wrong. Yeah, so no matter what the situation, see what level, if you hit, and okay, let's say example, it hits the level and you weren't around when you set a TP level, or you didn't even put any TP, like your TP level is higher, and then you notice it starts to retrace. So when you see something like that, the exit is time to exit, right? Like just let it go. Do not expect anything. If you really want, you can always re-enter. Yeah, as from a trade, like those series 2 kind of thing. I think as accumulation, it's fine for you to hold. Yeah, but from a trade perspective, you just let it go, walk away, and then wait. So you just imagine if you just let it go, like let's say you notice it around here, like you just save yourself like 9%, and like you being worried and like probably quite stressful. So that's why, because this market is very volatile, and from a trader's perspective, like on a series 2 kind of speculative kind of thing, we enter in fast. The goal is to accumulate BTC, nothing more, nothing less. You don't care whatever happens. If the news change, you got to adapt to it. Yeah, so this is one way. Another way is, of course, to play trading patterns, such as like fit blind. So an example would be like, let's say you play, I think I gave bread. Where's bread? Yeah, so you just play a pattern, which is like, this is a flagpole, and then you just chart. So you just mimic the same thing. Yeah, so you can see a lot of traders respect target levels, and from there they'll straight away TP. So you can see from here, you straight away had a sell-off also as well. Yeah, and another one is a FIB retracement line. So I think many were asking also how to draw it. So let's say a FIB is a normal from swing low to swing high, and you can draw it after the thing is formed. So you just form, then you realize, okay, the thing bounced at a 0.5 FIB line. So this is like when price, let's say your entry was here, and then like you're already like looking at ways to TP, like where do I look after your entry? So how do you do a FIB trend extension? Is that you just did the same thing. You just go to the tools, there's a FIB trend extension. You just click one, and then you just draw the normal FIB like you draw originally. And then your third point is where you draw the FIB line, like at where it bounces. So it's like here. Yeah, so the thing, basically what happens is that they'll plot levels for you to map out on like how to take profit. So as you can see, it didn't even hit the 1 at all, but it's like around the area already. There's already take profit level. So these are levels, like target levels, where you can say, okay, this is TP1, TP2 or something like that, or this is like the most bullish scenario, or this like mega moon area or something like that. Yeah, but you can see that if you match it up with the previous supports and resistance, it's respected quite well. See, one support level, another sort of resistance area, and then from here and here. So you can see this is also a very strong tool that you could use. So with these 3 tools alone, like the pattern, the FIP retracement, and just support and resistance is more than enough for you to find out when to TP. And just to be honest, like a very simple one, like if you don't want to use any chart and let's say I'm not good at TA, right? Then you say, okay, after I hit 10%, I will take profit no matter what. You set a rule for yourself that after 10%, you will take a substantial amount of profits. And then, okay, I'll let the rest ride. And then like, okay, let's see where like maybe whoever says, or like, oh, yeah. So, and sometimes, yeah, that's how the condition goes. Like I was a bit blindsided by the 10K because I was a bit busy. I didn't see it. But then from there, once it retraced, everything retraced. So at the end of the day, BTC is still king. So everything's followed its price action. So you got to wait for it as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it about take profit level.
Okay. You okay?
Yeah, done.
Okay, guys, just wanted to let you all take note on a few speculative fusies on the, usually when I have some fusies, then I better let you all know lah. Always later I miss out and then I forget. Okay, let me share screen. Okay. Okay, I want to bring your attention to one of these projects, which will be, okay, so Sonam is actually a decentralized fork computing platform. It is very much like Golem, where it's around the shared computing power space, okay? Very much like how Golem has progressed with the recent Brass network. Sonam has also done exactly the same thing, and Sonam will be a sponsor. Is actually one of the title sponsors for this coming consensus. Okay, so title sponsors, you have to pay quite a lot, and the logo is pretty big in terms of overall. And I think every time that a company wants to spend huge sums of money, especially at an event like this, we have to take note. So Sonam is currently now trading at around 26 cents. Okay, and I think in terms of value-wise, it is starting to pick up from the charts. Let me just go to the charts very quickly. Okay, so from BTC, Sonam BTC, by the way, you can buy it on Binance. So the ticker is SNM/BTC. Same thing. Every single alt has a cup followed by a formation of a handle, right? We are all, what is a little bit scary is that, are we all being set up for something that will happen? Because all the charts seem to be canvassed or painted in such a way that is almost similar, scarily similar. So I'm not very, very sure whether or not we are, because obviously it would be very favorable to start picking up stuff around the lows of during the early March to April. But right now we have everything recovering. So what we can kind of do is, if you are someone who has not, you're still holding a lot of BTC, you don't mind building up a bit of ROI, go to trades that are provided in the trade setups to kind of give you that boost. The end game at the end of the day, as Charles has mentioned, Andy has mentioned, I have mentioned, is to build up as much BTC as possible. Okay, because BTC has not officially taken off. For whatever reason, right now it seems to be giving us these opportunities to accumulate. So if you're someone who's coming in from fiat to buy BTC, go ahead. If you're someone who has already been vested into alts ever since we gave the go ahead in a way to be a little bit more bullish, but we did mention that at least maintain 50 to 60% in BTC of your overall portfolio, please, because the moment BTC starts really going berserk, right, you're going to see all altcoins get smashed. And I don't want your fifth. Okay, if you're someone who is very aggressive, of course you don't give a shit about BTC, right? You'll be pretty much 50 to 60% altcoins. I know that there are people who are doing that. That's fine, because that is your take. You feel that these altcoins are going to go they're going to move much faster in terms of momentum compared to BTC. So fair enough. If your stance is that, your call is that, follow what you feel is the best play for yourself. But personally, I'm still holding 40 to 50%. I'm on Quantum because I feel that Quantum is due for a rise. That's all. If you look at every single chart, right, it is not as cupish compared to whatever that is shown as so far. Okay, in terms of whatever the movement for Quantum, it is a little bit more stable. I don't anticipate a high movement. I think maybe I'm maximum going to get a 30%, 40% increase, and that's it. So it's not fantastic, but it still does the job for me. But for anyone else who is a little bit on the speculative side, you can look at Sonam. I gave OCN. I think Verge did pretty well, right? Verge did pretty well. And then I think Nano, I think has yet to play out as well, or has played out already. Then we have LTC, which has yet to really burst. So as you can see right now, right, we have anything from 10% profits to 30% to even potentially 50%. Okay. Ask yourself what works best for you that you can manage your take profits, because I noticed that every time there's a general uncertainty to take profit. Don't have uncertainty to take profit. If you are happy with the gains, be happy with the gains, because no one from a technical analysis standpoint can say, hey, the volume is still okay. From a technical standpoint, yes, you can kind of observe at that point of time how strong is the volume, right? If the volume is seemingly strong, then the momentum can potentially push the price upwards. But how much more do you really want? If you're already up 50%, take the 50%. It's just that simple. Take that 50%, go back, have it stacked up in your BTC, rinse, repeat, find another trade. There is always another trade, especially those who are new. Don't think that just because you only have participated in one trade and then after that, that's it. Trades are like fishing. Okay, I think when I look at all this whole space, when you do trading, it's like fishing, right? You wait for you put yourself, you make sure that you prep yourself. Okay, you prep your boat, you prep your bait, you prep everything, and then you go out to sea. If you catch something great, okay, if you want to catch a big fish, make sure that you have a steady rod, you have the right boat, so on and so forth. You're in the right spots, right? So all these things come into play. It's the same thing like when you're doing trading as well. You don't force the trade. Okay, let it happen. Let it happen. Okay, be patient. So if you're someone who is more on the impatient side, I would strongly suggest that maybe you follow our trade setups. But over time, I sincerely hope that you become a little bit more disciplined, and then you learn how to stay invested in certain times during the market. And when the markets are a little bit more bullish, yes, we can be a little bit more frisky, but always bear in mind that we want to have as much BTC as possible, because BTC has the best liquidity, has the most consistent liquidity. In the event that you need to cash out to fiat, BTC will be there for you to at least help you do that. Okay, let's just face it, we are all here to make sure that the goal for CG is to clear 1 million, or at least help 1 million people be debt free, right? To achieve the word debt free can come in many contexts. Firstly is to clear either a student loan, credit card debt that we unknowingly accumulated through the many years of spending and paying the minimum sum, or we just want to clear our mortgage. These are the three things that CG wants to focus on when we mean debt free. Okay, we will always have a certain amount of debt when we are driving a car or whatever, children's education and whatnot. But let's try to help people specifically clear these three things, which is, I repeat again, the student loan, your credit card debt, or your mortgage. Okay, so during the orientation program, we will cover this a little bit more in detail. So like I said, those who are in Premier, basically the new ones who are coming on board, this 1 hour orientation program will get you in line with what we need to do. So like I said, Andy will be emailing out the invites. Let us know the timing, and then we'll conduct this and for you guys so that you all can get up to speed, because the group is already considered quite fast, but we're always bringing in new people. So that's why end up is like if we start communicating in the chat, everyone's lost. And I noticed that there will be people PMing us, hey, what's going on, and all that. And we don't want you to feel lost. So this program is for you guys. Okay. So without further ado, I think we have about 15 minutes more. If you have more questions, we will start answering them. Okay. So right now, okay, what are your thoughts on ARK? Okay, ARK, I would say, is a privacy coin, right? That has a delegated proof of stake. Right now, I think in terms of development for ARK, I don't have that much insight. I think privacy is a questionable. Privacy is kind of like a questionable thing. Do we really need it at this point? Yes, we kind of do need it, but does anyone actually care so much about their privacy? Because if I really want to use it, I want to use it, right? And also, I think I'm more concerned about revenue generation within a platform, or at least I would rather have a focus on user adoption, or at least user friendliness rather than the privacy features as of now. Because we already have Monero, we have Zcash, or is it Z Classic? I can't remember. There are a few privacy coins out there in the market at the moment. But yes, you can consider that as one of your themes if you're interested, because if, let's say, for example, they are speaking at consensus, go ahead, give it a shot, right? Sometimes it's just about making your own calls sometimes, right? When you start making your own calls, you feel more confident about yourself. Because I think what CG wants to do is make sure that when we give you some pieces of information, you kind of dissect it and kind of formulate your own judgment and have a conversation. That is why the chat is there, right? So that you guys can, hey guys, what do you think about this? And then, you formulate something. There's also it's more for you all to just be able to grow together, right? So that's the whole idea. Okay, now the next one is the voice is breaking too much. Sonam all missed. Huh? The voice is breaking too much. Okay. Any thoughts on the new blockchain 3.0, Quark, Eden, and Hashgraph? Okay. With regards to I think Hashgraph is not a blockchain. Okay, Hashgraph is not a blockchain. It is another protocol on top of the internet, right? So we have the World Wide Web is the very first protocol, comes blockchain. Now we have Hashgraph. So however Hashgraph plays out, we have to allow Hashgraph to kind of appear first, and then we make a proper formulation on it, because it was really complex. So I don't think I would understand it very quickly. I'm still trying very much to understand blockchain, right? And blockchain 3.0 is more interoperability. For Hashgraph, that is a completely new protocol that has its own consensus algorithm. So let's wait for that to really appear onto the market first, then we'll come and talk. As for Quark and Eden, I do not have too much insights on that. Okay, what is your expectation / prediction for the general crypto market this year? Will we have a June run-up, July bear, September run-up? Okay, JD, I think these are very, very good questions. Unfortunately, you are here on the second year of a bullish crypto market, okay? You are here on the second year. We are all here on the second year. You know what's great about this whole space is that anyone who came on board last year is considered a veteran, all right? Anyone who comes on board this year is only the second year. We don't have enough back data to really validate all these points that we mentioned. For example, July last year the tank came from a full swing of regulations and banning from China. From then, it coincided with Korea doing the exact same thing, right? So that has already passed. Whatever that happens this year will be completely different. And will it happen during the same months? I don't think so. So we have yet to kind of observe this. All right. So it's good. You're still early, my friend. So you don't have to worry. Expectation and prediction. Okay. My expectation and prediction is to see a recovery first. So I'm looking more for, I'm someone who doesn't want to give too much of a high prediction. I would be happy to see a 800B market cap. I really would. Because that's another 470 billion from now. Now it's May. We have a good we have a good 7 months more to see a new high, or at least the high that we achieved, which is fantastic still, guys. That means we already prepped you for the past 3 months. That means if the market cap recovers back to where we were, you would have made more money. Guaranteed. It's like a guarantee, because we already position you for January, February, March when the tank came. You all have more Satoshi. Some of you all, after doing a little bit of a quick survey, asked you all where you all are at. You all have more Satoshi now. Some have more than others because you all were a little bit more aggressive on certain trades. So if the US dollar kind of starts surging back into this market, that means we see a 800B market cap, you're going to easily have already made more money than you would have last year because you have more Satoshis. Okay? So that's where I'm predicting 800B. Can you cover MAT for those who entered on CG call? Okay, we're talking about MediBlock, is it? Okay, for those who are curious about MediBlock, okay, so they kind of came to, at least Chai Ho came, right? Chai Ho Shin came, and we had a little bit of a discussion, not too much into detail. He was pretty tight-lipped about the progress within Mediblock, but the partnerships are real, okay, and they are moving very aggressively in the space, especially on the advertising and medical side, because of the ties they have. And having said that, he mentioned that the founders are already well-to-do themselves. That means right now they are just fulfilling their dream to help, okay, to improve the space. And I think to have someone I like hearing that kind of stuff, because one, you know that it's not a money grab. Okay, they're here to build it. They are sincere about helping the space. Okay, that's one. Two, when especially founders have reached that level of actualization that they want to help. Okay, same CG here is we want to help. Okay, that's why we are here. We are able to do whatever we do on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, because money to us is not the main driving factor. Money to us is just a means to an end. But at the end of the day, what you do with that money, or what kind of fulfillment you get from money, right, is actually very shallow if your goals are not in line. So, like I said, they are very focused on the advertising space to help, at least from a revenue standpoint. Okay, I think they have a very quick go-to strategy. They have a plan to start their own mainnet. Okay, why instead of breaking away from quantum, they want to have a little bit more flexibility. So they are not breaking away from quantum. It's just more of a building their own mainnet, right? When they want to start building their own mainnet, that means they're going to have their own tokenomics. They're going to have their own consensus. From there, it will be easier for them to customize. So that's one. So for those who are holding on to Mediblock, who feel that you want to be in the long game, and by the way, when you talk about medical, it's evergreen. That's one thing good, right? Everyone falls sick in a bear market. Everyone falls sick in a bull market. So you can safely say that that is a very good business to be in. It would be a good recommendation as well, especially as this space progresses. You're going to see people start arranging their portfolios in certain cryptocurrencies or projects that are so-called bellwether, or they are able to stand the test of time. Okay, so I'm hopefully, as the years go by, when we go into year 3, year 4, when we start looking at the established cryptocurrencies, right, we can really form a nice portfolio that will be like, oh, okay, during this kind of turbulence in the market, these cryptocurrencies maintain practically no volatility, or very little. They maintain their value. Then when markets are a little bit more bullish, we observe how they perform. Usually they will perform a little bit less compared to the more speculative hype projects, right? So let's observe, okay? We want to focus on still infrastructure, which is the smart contract protocols, decentralized exchanges, centralized exchanges, data management platforms. We are looking also at anything that focuses on payment channels on or off. Okay, that is just the boring stuff at the moment, guys. I'm so sorry. There's nothing exciting. Social media, okay? Social media will be probably a space that hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years, we start to see better platforms with better UI UX. Gaming is also in the next 3 to 5 years when we have blockchains that are scalable. That means they have faster transactions per second. Maybe they have larger blocks. They can accommodate games, right? And those games will in turn have a very nice internal ecosystem. So games are favorable. Okay, these are the kind of things that we want to look out for now. Okay, then of course we do have the occasional decentralized marketplaces that offer various stuff like smart contract apps or dApps, right? That's also one way that we can start speculating on those as well. Like I said, everything is still speculation, guys, unfortunately. Okay, but let's try to preempt and see what we have in the current world now, and then let's hope that when we shift it to blockchain, these things will also be favorable for us to invest in. But end of the day, always remember, whatever trade for how long, go back to BTC. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, any questions, guys? You all can feel free to jump in and take questions, man.
OCN.
OCN? OCN? Okay, why are you so confident, strong about OCN? What is the upside regarding his token asset? Okay. When we jumped into OCN to me was basically a speculative play. All right. they already have existing businesses that are focused on the sharing economy or gig economy. Okay, that is the story. Now, how Tron pumped their coin was pure marketing. Same thing. I'm entering this purely because of speculation as well, purely because of hype as well. All right. In terms of when you tell me that you want to create a sharing economy gig marketplace for your existing businesses, sure, it's just a protocol, right? Whether it plays out or not, ultimately it's an integration. It's not difficult for them because they own the businesses. So Ishii is the founder of Huobi, right? And what he wants to do is form various small little partnerships, create lots of hype on Twitter, and then perhaps that leads up to airdrops, leading up to his mainnet launch. And then after that, it will go all quiet, just like Tron. Tron currently now has, I think, 1 month more, slightly a little under 1 month to the mainnet launch, right? So there's a lot of hype. You see, these two are marketers, very, very strong marketers, in fact. So I don't want to deny people of returns just because I'm always focused on fundamentals. So far, this space is all usually, there's a huge, especially when you're a very pre-mainnet, you have a lot of hype value. As you pass as the moment that you already have your mainnet up, that's when the market starts to observe you to see whether or not you're going to deliver on your actual developments and roadmap and progress. That is usually the real deal. So Quantum is already past that. So as you can see, you look at Quantum's price, very stable, doesn't do much. In fact, it doesn't do much at all. The only recent spike was because it launched on Binance. There was a competition. It got people excited. That was the last thing that happened for Quantum this year, right? Now, the next thing for OCN, right now there's a lot of hype. There's airdrop. Okay, so think of it this way. If it's 2 cents and it's a 1-to-1 airdrop for whatever is that 1-to-1, I don't know what is that other 1-to-1. Tentatively, it's Tron. So if let's say you say you're going to get a 1-to-1, is it 1-to-1 on each OCN you're going to get 1 Tron? Wow, that's an immediate 2.5 upside ROI. Okay, because Tron is 8 cents. OCN is 2 cents. So sorry, that's an upside of four times. So can you imagine there will be people buying up the moment it's announced? Okay, so right now Tron is correcting. So I see that if Tron corrects to anywhere from 6 to 7 cents, it's 3x, guys. Like, just look at simple math. I buy OCN, all right? I buy up OCN, I get free Tron. It's 1-to-1. You see where I'm coming from? So these two buggers, right, are just basically pure hype master 5,000, right? That's all I see at the moment. There's no development on anything. It's just pure hype. So like that's the only reason. Okay, what else? Any thoughts about big money coming in? When big money wants to come in, it will come in. There's no way that you will actually know, right, when the big money comes in. Because when big money comes in, they will announce it. They will do it. They will enter the market first, and then they will announce it later. That's all. They are not going to tell you, I'm going to come in now. You know, it's in a way, they're not going to do that. They're going to just basically enter the market very quietly, all right, through their maybe private means. And then after that, they will step into the space. Then after that, they will announce. Okay, it's always like that. What else? Okay, what are your thoughts on... Okay, maybe this is a quantum question. What are your thoughts on temporarily decreasing BTC allocation and increasing allocation into Quantum, Pundi X, HT? Okay, that means going aggressive, leading up to consensus. In other words, I want to temporarily use my BTC to increase my Quantum allocation to take advantage of the potential Quantum surge and ultimately increase my BTC. So main, go ahead. You know, honestly, go ahead. Because you don't want to, okay, your soldiers, right? How you utilize your soldiers are your BTC. If your BTC is going to increase very gradually, and it's currently range bound, I can safely say that, okay? It's range bound between the 9,000 to 9,005, okay? If it's going to be range bound, fantastic for alts. Then start utilizing, use them, okay? Put them out there, do battle, but always maintain a safety net of anywhere from, depending on how aggressive you are, okay, of BTC. You can't go all in, like say use up all your BTC, go into alts, and then the BTC starts suddenly just doing a bull run. All your alts will get smashed. Then you'll feel very, very depressed. So always maintain a certain amount that you feel, okay, in the event that this happens, I'm okay. In the event that this scenario happens, what do I do? You know what I mean? So just make sure that if you're leading up to it, you want to play just nice, I mean, go ahead. It applies to any alt, by the way. This question applies to any alt, guys. Hey, you want to answer the HT one?
Yeah, I want to cover.
Or Venn, yeah.
I'll cover both.
Yeah.
The screen share.
Oh, sorry. Oops. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, yep.
Okay. Okay, hey guys. So I was talking about VeChain and HT, right? And we could actually see that HT is the only one going up against BTC right now in terms of Satoshi level. And all of you kind of know that I'm very pro on HT. And I'm holding slightly more HT than anything else for now, except for Quantum MPXS, which I'm also, and BTC, right? So the next in terms of allocation that I have more is HT, and that's why BTC level I'm always doing good. Okay, it's magically, I don't know how HT does it. But what I want to draw to particularly this segment is I want to talk about three main tokens that I've been talking about, which is VeChain, IOTA, and HT. Okay, so let's just give you, I'm just gonna give you a quick overview of why VeChain first. All right. First of all, I've never really looked at it, to be honest. And the good thing is, I was looking at this consensus on 14th of May. These are the speakers that will be speaking. Some of the projects, like We Love Pundi X is here, Sonam is here. And I was just talking to Ryan. That's why we brought up the Sonam idea. Of course, VeChain is speaking as well. So actually, I kind of like look at VeChain particularly as a 4-block sponsor. Now, for those who don't know where to get this, you can find it from CoinDesk under Consensus 2018. You can find the sponsors here. All right. So Sonam is actually a titled sponsor. 4-block sponsors are like ARC, VeChain, Quantum, yeah. So when I was looking at the 4-block sponsor particularly, I was just thinking which can really give me that edge, because I was thinking NAM and Ripple, it's like same old, same old. NAM doesn't really move much anyway. Ripple is just institutional. Not many crypto traders like it. Quantum, it's obviously because of x86, they're gonna launch something or announce something. VeChain is most likely to talk about their mainnet launch in June. There's a lot of hype about it. And today, particularly, VeChain actually partnered with PwC, right? So PwC, I don't need to explain that much. The Big Four, right, has actually partnered with VeChain to really design certain IoT technology. You know, they are incorporating certain stuff. Okay, and we are talking through like real partnerships with the mainstream businesses. So the guy who actually founded VeChain particularly is someone, you know, who has a lot of background. He was a CIO of LV previously in China. So he has a lot of network in that sense, okay, particularly. So you can actually just read some articles here. So VeChain actually is working with BMW as well. These are a real true partnership, and they are officially rebranding to VeChain Thor, which is VET. I have no idea why they name it Thor, maybe Infinity War. But what we can really see is, okay, this I never ever believe in price prediction, by the way, guys, because everyone can predict, but nothing is happening. They're predicting BTC to hit 200K. Bullshit, right? I don't even know when it's going to happen. So I don't really pay attention so much to prediction. What I'm really just concerned, it's all about the partnership here. So CoinDesk also added VeChain Thor today, added fiat to vet pairing. We could see VeChain Thor announce a collaboration with Oxford University, yeah, and the university will be helping them in technical development for the VeChain Thor platform. So what I'm trying to say here is there are telltale signs of this becoming something, all right? And also their mainnet launch is in end of June. So by speaking okay, this is the roadmap of what's going to happen. This is the timetable towards the launch, okay? So you could see mid-April, mid-May Alpha 1. Basically here it's actually the consensus period. So they'll kind of make the announcement. They'll talk about the partnerships that they have. They're going to talk about the mainnet, what's going to happen, what source code is it going to be revealed, and what are the developments that's going to come in. So all these particularly will come in during the consensus and building up towards end of June. And that's why when I gave out the signal yesterday, wasn't really predicting that BTC will be dipping as much, okay? But doesn't matter. I'm always looking at the fundamentals. I'm not very big on VeChain, particularly as compared to Huobi. But what I'm looking at VeChain as of now, it's that there's a mainnet launch. And anything that has a chain thing in China is very, very popular. Okay. Anything, okay, in chain in Chinese is called lian. Okay. 链子, 链子, 树, 链子, whatever. Anything that's lian one, right? The Chinese love it. Okay. I interacted with some of the Chinese people in Singapore. They were here. So I was talking to them. Anything with the lian, they love it. All right. So basically, the Chinese won't sponsor an event if they have nothing to show. All right. And that was one of the reasons, some of the reasons why I was thinking, okay, so if VeChain is sponsoring as a 4-block sponsor, there's bound to be some upside to that. Okay. Point. I'm not trying to share anything. I'm just basing on the partnerships, basing on the roadmap. That is the potential of what is going to come. Okay. We don't even talk about price prediction. I don't even give a shit. Okay. Let's talk about IOTA. Now, IOTA, it's a very, very long-term project. Okay. Orbiton loves it. I know Francis like it too. But the reason why they love it from a tech point of view is that Internet of Things is a very, very long-term kind of technology development. It can take up to 2 to 3 years for IOTA to really display its main feature, to really come out everything. Okay, so it will take some time. But we do know that IOTA as well has very, very key partnerships with different energy companies. They have partnerships with different wallets and whatever, with Bosch even. So it's really cool if you follow developments of IOTA. There's a Volkswagen partnership as well. But the one thing that I want to just look at IOTA is because IOTA is going to be listed on Huobi.pro. Okay, so it's already a news announced. But what happened was actually, it was supposed to be launched on May 3rd. Okay, but there was actually a delay for IOTA trading. Okay, so it's due, it will be delayed until further notice. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I was looking at IOTA, be it in terms of partnership, and because it's going to be launched on Huobi, that was the reason why it had a pump, but it has not officially got onto Huobi yet. So the volume hasn't come in yet. Okay, and that's why I'm looking at it as a speculative trade. I'm not going to keep a lot of IOTA. I'm just keeping a bit to get that upside. That's it. Okay. Now, finally, let's talk about Huobi. So you know, we talk about Huobi. I'm not gonna share so much. And I love Huobi. Okay. Particularly because I've known the pattern for very long. I've been studying it for very, very long. I trade in and out of Huobi. I basically stock it up a lot more this time around at the dips. So I realized anywhere between 267 to 270, that level is the optimal level to get into Huobi, and the upside you can just ride it up. And we were speaking to the team. There's a lot of things that we kind of cannot review because you know, it's kind of like we cannot really review because we are very kind of close to the team to a certain extent. But what we can really say is that all he said was get some Huobi. Okay, and that's all he said, because as much as we know that the price is being suppressed, and I kind of think through the process now. If Binance can redo it all over again, I'm pretty sure they would control the price of their token. They would never want it to run up so quickly. Okay, so think of Huobi. Huobi learned the lesson from Binance, and that's what they're doing now. They're suppressing the price for now. And yet again, their business is built around buying Huobi token. So for instance, let's say you want to be an OTC merchant, you have to buy Huobi as a security. You want to be listed on HEDX, you need to buy Huobi to be listed as a competition, or you need to hold it for at least a year for security deposit. You know, to basically list on Huobi.pro, you also need to do such things. So they are basically using the HT as an ecosystem on its own. It's very, very different. Like it's very different from how Binance does it. They just want fiat or money or whatever. But Huobi basically builds their whole business around you buying Huobi token. They pay you in Huobi token. They pay their staff OT in Huobi token. Example. So the staff themselves are motivated to get this done, you know, to get whatever shit done. And they don't mind OTing. They meet us on public holidays, and they call me every single day just to make sure I'm okay to get the freaking OTC market up and running, you know, for CG. So they are really just on the board. Their customer service is there, but of course the support is a bit slow still. There's a lot of back end things to do because they are growing at a fast rate. But they will get it done sooner or later. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to show you anyway, but $2.50 to $3 is dirt cheap. Okay, for now, because the upside could get to $8 to $10. That's just okay. We talk about price prediction, right? I don't like to predict prices, but that's just where I will look at it. You know, in the next 6 months or so, right? Because there is no strong contender as of now as to what Huobi has built all around the world. They have offices in 4 big major cities. And they have moved a lot of their operations out of the mainland China into some smaller parts of China. I cannot divulge, but we're just saying that they are moving, okay, and they're moving at a very quick rate. And in Singapore, example, they are kind of moving offices as well to grow into a bigger office. and they're growing at a very, very huge rate, okay, a very, very fast rate. So I scared I'll review too much, but anyway, I won't really talk too much about that. But basically, there's also a lot of partnerships between Huobi and Japan and Korea. So they're building exchanges as well in Japan and Korea. Yeah. And yeah, so this is what my point of view is. I'm still very hopeful on VeChain, definitely, and Huobi as well. And Huobi kind of always behave in opposite direction of BTC. So when BTC movement goes down, Huobi always goes up. I have no idea why, but I've kind of figured out as a good hedge, just a little bit like Quantum and MPXS. I realized, hey, these are good things because people don't want to dump it as much. They just want to support it or just hold it, and they know the benefits is to come. Yeah. That's all to my part.
So, guys, in closing, just remember, invest or trade according to your own risk profile, and don't have to compete with everyone else in the group. You focus on what is comfortable for you. Even if you are to be doing one trade a week or even one trade a month, and you get anywhere from 10% to 15%, while someone else who is on probably leverage who gets anywhere from 30, 40, 50%, you don't have to compete because that person has already put in the work to attain that kind of knowledge. If you want to be at that level, then obviously you have to give yourself some time to reach there, discipline yourself and understand the risk management portion of your own portfolio and your own risk appetite. From there, you will be able to ascertain what makes sense and what doesn't make sense for you, especially in this market. And then you formulate a trading pattern or an investment pattern. For me, I just love to invest in fundamentals, right? So I keep it that way. I basically invest in these things that I believe in, or I've spoken to these teams before. The more confident I am, the more money I put. Simple as that, right? And as they progress, you put more money. That's all. And then for anyone who is a trader, of course, always make sure that you adjust your trading sizes according to your risk appetite. And remember your stop losses have to be there, especially if it's a very volatile trading pair. So all these things, that being said, I think we have concluded our day's live webinar for this week. Have a good week ahead, guys, and we'll see you in the next live webinar. See you.